welcome to Chit Chat and Chill. We're glad you joined us. So today we're going to talk about all sorts of tips and tricks to get healthy that don't involve going to the doctor. So tune in after this and we'll let you know all the secrets. Hello and welcome back. My name is Antoinette. I'm one of the co-hosts of Chit Chat and Chill, and I own Pixel This, which is a full-service design firm. We're all about giving you the best foot forward in what you do with visual communication for your business or service to attract the right people and make everybody happy, because who doesn't like finding the best business and getting the best service? So, but first, before we begin, I have to introduce Laura, my co-host.
You know what? I just saw something this morning and I thought, oh, that's definitely AI generated logo. And like people are noticing it more. They need Pixel This.
Yes.
I'm Laura Fickett, your co-host. I own Fickett Financial Education and Business Coaching, and I love to help people make more money, manage it better, and retain it to build their wealth. And you might think, how can she help me make more money? Well, let's have a free consultation and we'll talk about it, because there are so many ways that you probably don't know that maybe I do. And any extra dollar in your pocket is more than you had the day before. So I save money also by this topic, by not going to copays and doctors first. We, I think, have gotten into a society of we rush off to the doctor and we think that they know more than we do. But like even just as short as 100 years ago, people were handling things in home before they went off to the doctor. And full disclaimer, neither one of us are doctors. We're not in the medical profession. This is just our opinion and our experiences in life, and we want to share them with you. So I actually had some DNA testing done from somebody local, and he found out that there was all kinds of inflammation in my body and that there was a bacteria that was actually attacking my thyroid. And they've told me forever that my thyroid is hereditary. I've had thyroid problems. It's underactive and it's hereditary. Well, he killed the bacteria with homeopathic medicine, and then he gave me medicine, homeopathic medicine, to heal my thyroid and my pituitary gland from the damage of being on levothyroxine for so long. And now I'm not on levothyroxine. And I went from 125 micrograms all the way down to nothing. And my hair and my nails are fine. My energy is fine. I feel my brain is clearer. I feel better all around. And my last test came back like the inflammation in my body is gone. So my body is actually like healing itself the way God intended. It's fantastic.
Yeah. I think a lot of times when people have issues, they're like, oh, I need to get a prescription or whatever. Like I was talking to this one doctor, and they were saying, like everybody knows there's no cure for the common cold, but they'll have parents come in with, kids with the common cold. And he said they are physically pissed off if I don't write some sort of script for their kids. Like I came all the way here, like I better be leaving with something. And it's gone to the
They
thing.
want Percocet, right? That's what I want when I go. No, just kidding.
No, but
it's a joke.
It's one of those that, people all of a sudden they'll see an ad. Like if you watch TV at night, it's like every advertisement is medicine after medicine after medicine. And you got to realize if there is something going on in your body, the goal isn't let's mask it. It's let's see what's going on in my body. My body's trying to tell me something. So I think the point of getting off prescriptions means that you've addressed all the things that your body's telling you needs help. Like Laura's body was telling her she has a bacteria that needs to be addressed, and through this means. And I know when I'm, one of the things that I suffer from is migraine. So that's my body's way of telling me something is off.
Right.
And you have to listen to that. Like, yeah, I'll take something to immediately get rid of the migraine, but I have to think back and go, okay, what caused this? Why is this? And I do know there's certain triggers, but you got to listen to your body, and your body's never telling you get a prescription, because every prescription has bad side effects. There's no synthetic medicine out there. I know Laura just mentioned, homeopathic. That is so different than a synthetic based thing. I mean,
yeah, it's not growing in nature.
No.
Here's a fun fact for you, Antoinette.
Ooh.
My son, who was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis, got also tested, DNA tested, and he was inflamed and he was having horrible migraines. But since he's reduced his inflammation in his body, his migraines have gone away.
Wow.
So she just got tested. Can I tell them?
Yeah, you could tell them.
She's inflamed in every area of her body except one.
Yeah.
So when you reduce the inflammation, your migraines may go away. It might be a happy side effect of reducing the inflammation in your body. Someone told me that having inflammation in your body is basically like putting food that you think is good in your body, and your body is being cooked. The meat in your body is being cooked from the inside out. So when you lay in the sun and you get sunburn on your skin, you're cooking on the outside. But like inflammation in your body is cooking from the inside out. Like, that's not good. We're supposed to live to 120. Yeah. That's what the Bible says, but there's no way you're going to do it if you're going to cook your meat from the inside out.
Yeah, like the one thing that I look at is when people eat, it either heals you or hurts you. And I think a lot of people kind of, they blur the line. Oh, it's just junk food or just this. No, it's either junk or it's food. It isn't one or the other, because it's either helping you thrive or it's actually hurting you. And a lot of times people, oh, it's good in small doses or everything in moderation. And the thing I always, kind of put in there is, is rat poisoning good in moderation? I mean, you might not take the lethal dose to kill you, but it's never going to help you thrive. And you keep, you know what I mean? And you keep ingesting these things, and it just makes you more and more and more.
And what is moderation? Like if I eat one hot dog a day, is that moderation?
Yeah.
I'm eating 365 hot dogs in a year. Do you think that's good for me? Like,
probably not.
Probably not. Like if I have one a year, it's like, whoa, that's because moderation is such a vague word.
Yeah.
Everything in moderation.
Like for me, I try my best to eat as healthy, every day of the year, obviously. And then when I go on vacation, or I have events, you're kind of stuck to what they feed you.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I did the DNA testing right after I came back from an event. So it just basically confirmed like, oh God, that just wasn't the best food for me. But I mean, let's talk a little bit about food. So for one, I think I was reading this one book and they were saying how, everyone hears the things like, there's no secret that, certain foods are good for you. No one's going to argue Oreos are great for me, or that
they're made with like petroleum.
I know, it's just terrible. No, but like everyone pretty much knows if you have a piece of, lettuce or an egg, and then here's an Oreo and Doritos, like which is better? I mean, people know, but they're just not doing it.
I don't know what they put in Doritos, though.
Yeah.
Man, that stuff is addictive.
Yeah. Well, what they do with processed foods, and even if you just changed nothing alone but eliminated processed foods, what they do, and I'm from the marketing background, so hear me out on this. I worked for many food companies. What they do is it's called a bliss point. So they have the perfect amounts of fat, sweet, and salt that it creates this, bliss in your taste buds that it totally deletes your satiety hormones, and you just can eat more and more and more. So if the one thing you do is just eliminate processed foods, and by processed, I mean there's more than one ingredient in there. So if you're buying something that's packaged and it all of a sudden has multiple ingredients, it's processed.
Or it's in a box.
Yeah. But it's one of those. If you stick to produce or meats and eggs, that's just there. There's no guesswork of what's in the box or bag or whatever.
I think it's funny when I talk to people and they say like, oh, I buy organic meats and try to buy the organic eggs and the organic produce, and then they're snacking on cookies and chips, and I'm like, oh, what's the point?
It doesn't matter. Save the money. Yeah,
save the money.
Buy regular. Yeah,
it's crazy, but it is hard to eat. But I've said this on another podcast of ours, but my aunt who passed away at 103, she said that you eat to fill your stomach and to fill your body. And then if you need something to fill your taste buds, just a spoonful. So you eat something good, like a good meal, fruits and vegetables, all that kind of stuff. And if you don't like the taste of Brussels sprouts or broccoli or whatever you just ingested, you can have a spoonful of ice cream. You don't need a bowl full of ice cream. The bowl is not going to fill your body in a good way. And so I have taken that throughout my whole entire life. And people are like, I can't believe you can just have like a bite or a spoonful. I'm like, I just want the taste in my mouth. That taste will last for, it's not like it's that Fruit Stripes gum that lasts 3 seconds. It lasts for a while.
Well, even if you eat the whole bowl, at the end, you're just left with the taste in your mouth anyway.
And yeah, except it took you a little bit longer to get there.
Yeah.
And so I have talked to my 12-year-old, like he'll go to reach for something and that is in the house, which that's another thing I'll tell you in a minute. But I say to him, like, eat a banana first or eat an apple first or like eat something of substance first and then you can have the candy that you brought home from school. The other thing is like I'm a super lazy person, especially like if it's colder at night when it's dark. I will not leave the house to go get ice cream, cookies, whatever. So if I don't buy it, I can't eat it.
Yeah.
That's a good rule of thumb.
Yeah, I think, well, yeah, a lot of times people will come up with these, they do these diet extremes and it's this all or none or whatever. And I get it if you're in a big medical catastrophe and it needs to be an all or none, then go for it. I mean, do it. You have the motivation, you need to do it. But for your average person, if you're just trying to get healthy, I think that's a hard process for people. Like, oh, I want to, like, even when people go, oh, I'm going to do vegetarian, like usually it starts out, you're eating a crappy diet, then you try to eat it a little healthier, still feeling bad. Then you go vegetarian and then you're doing worse. And then you go vegan and that's even worse. And then you might go carnivore. And then it's like, oh, finally all the inflammation is gone. But it's the ultimate elimination diet because you're not eating processed foods. You could have come to that realization a lot sooner. We're meant to be omnivores. Like, you know what I mean? And I'll hear people argue both sides, but in the end, we're meant to be omnivores. Like,
well, I mean, I'm all Italian. I think I'm meant to be a pastavore. Like, is that a thing?
That's a different species. Yeah. They play by different rules. But it is one of those, and I'll hear arguments, but in the end, like, people thrive when, you know, like, if you're trying to be vegan and you can't get, you know, B12 unless you do, like, eating shouldn't be this, like,
it shouldn't
crazy.
be that complicated.
No, like,
sure.
If you look back to our ancestors, you know, that's how we evolved. You know, it's not like all of a sudden there's Twinkies and Pop-Tarts, whatever. These weren't around for hundreds of years, and our bodies have evolved over what we ate, not what's available to eat now. And I think people have just abandoned how we've eaten for years, and our systems just can't handle it.
I think if you go to another country, it's eye-opening that you look at their supermarkets and it's a lot of fresh food and fresh produce and fresh groceries. Then they have like an American aisle.
Yeah, that's their international aisle.
Their American food aisle is disgustingly junk. Like,
yeah.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
People must be like, oh my gosh, no wonder why those Americans are obese.
Yeah, I saw this one joke where they lent out the statue of David to America for, whatever. And then when they got, David back, he's got this pot belly. And it's like this. It was hysterical, but it's just like we lead the world in obesity. And every country is becoming more and more obese. And it's not that the knowledge isn't there. I don't know what I think there's other factors than food. So let's talk about some other things.
I think running to the doctor has become a weird thing, like in the past 30 years.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I'm the youngest of 7. I don't know if we even had health insurance, to be honest. I'm hoping we did. I have no idea. Like, we went like once occasionally. And
yeah.
We went for our annual stuff. But if I had, I wasn't feeling good, I had a runny nose and like a low fever, my mom would not rush me to the hospital. She would make me chicken soup.
Yeah.
And I would lie down in bed and I wouldn't go to school and I would drink water all day. And I mean, that advice is still good today.
Yeah.
Like, your body needs to rest. Your immune system needs help fighting whatever it contracted. Now, if you have a high fever, of course, like maybe you have an infection that requires antibiotics, but a lot of things go away with just rest and fluids.
Yeah.
And so even when, they were talking about the COVID and whatever, like people would go in and get tested and the prescription would be rest and drink plenty of fluids. Like, So why go get the doctor's visit? Just stay home.
Yeah.
Because when you go to the doctors, okay, there are other people there that are actually
Sick.
really sick. And you have a virus that requires you to stay home, rest, drink fluids. Like, you don't want to spread the virus to those other people.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't know why people just rush off to the doctors now, like everything. And they think like antibiotics is like this cure for literally everything.
Yeah.
Well, your body can become like immune to antibiotics if you use it too much.
Yeah. And I get this. I remember I had this thing where I'm allergic to a specific ingredient, and I got face wash with it, and I just washed my face with it, and then it looked like I slept in poison ivy all
Is it
night.
paraben?
No, it's
People are allergic to that.
It's called colophony, but it's in a lot of different things. So the ingredient in this face wash was tea tree oil. So it's actually a natural ingredient. And it was like, a healthy
You're
face
allergic
wash.
to tea tree oil?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
so unfortunate because like tea tree oil for me is the most amazing thing ever.
Like it's a great antibiotic and all
Oh
that
my
stuff.
gosh. If I get bit by our fire ant and I get tea tree oil on it right away, it doesn't swell up. Like I put it on mosquito bites. I put it on cuts. I put it on, in ingrown hair. Like I put tea tree oil on everything.
Yeah.
When
Well,
the kids had lice.
Yeah. For me, it's opposite effect. But I remember I had that.
Good to know.
And my
Love that.
eyes literally closed up into these little slits. I couldn't even see out of them. Like I could barely kind of see out of one. And
So how did you make it go away?
So I remember I reached out to Facebook, like, help, I'm having massive like swelling all over
reaction.
my face. Going to the doctor is not an option. Does anybody know any like tips or tricks? And it was like 19 out of 20 people were like, go to the doctor, go to the doctor. I'm like, first of all, it's completely unsafe, even if I wanted to go to the
drive.
driving like this. But, finally somebody said witch hazel. And I put witch hazel on it. It actually brought down the swelling enough where I could see out of my eyes, and eventually it healed. But again, it was like people were fighting with me, like, what's wrong with you? Go to the doctor. I'm like, what's wrong with you? Like, I'm just swelling up. I'm not going to die.
I think the key is, for me, I've always been a fan of like, if it's progressing in the wrong direction, I'm going to go to the doctor. I'm going to go to the hospital. My daughter came home on Thanksgiving and she had a spider bite. It was so painful. It was progressing in the wrong direction. We went to the emergency room. Like, I'm not going to not go. But if it was progressing in the right direction, we wouldn't have. So if the symptoms start to get worse and worse, the fever is climbing higher and higher, it's not responding to, Advil and Tylenol and traditional things, then yeah, of course, like go to the doctor, something else is wrong. But if you can manage it and do something like witch hazel.
Yeah.
Like baking soda has so many good properties.
Lemon juice, all this stuff.
Like apple cider vinegar.
Yeah, those
there
are all
there
great.
are a lot of things that are in your kitchen that if you do a tiny, tiny bit of research are great for all kinds of different things. And so you don't need to, I think people want medicine because it makes them feel better, but they didn't, like you said, they don't address the issue.
No.
And if you do listen to those commercials Antoinette was talking about, you listen to the side effects of some of these medicines. Do you want anal leakage? Because that is when I hear that, I'm like,
or possible death.
Or possible death.
Infertility.
Or some of the ones.
Suicidal thoughts.
Suicidal thoughts for depression medication. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Isn't that the whole thing you're trying to help?
If I'm depressed, don't give me suicidal thoughts. That's a side effect I do not want.
No.
Or do not need.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, people just, I don't know, they blip over all of those side effects. And the list is long.
Yeah.
It's disgustingly long for some of these medications. And I have a DO. Do you know what a DO is instead of an MD?
Oh, what? I used to know.
So an MD is the medical doctor. A DO is a doctor of osteopath.
Yeah.
So if you have high cholesterol, they're first going to try things like red yeast rice and diet and exercise. They're not going to jump to a synthetic, a solution first.
And
they're going to try to address the issue.
And just kind of a fun fact, people are like, oh, it's medicines, whatever. So just a fun fact on how prescriptions even came about was like in the 1900s, people had, there were doctors, whatever, and Rockefeller decided like, oh, how can we break into the medical field? So what they came up with, there's a couple people involved in this, but they decided to make these large donations to medical schools, like $1 million, which was,
a lot back then.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot now, let alone back then. But they're like, we're going to donate $1 million, but with this money, we're going to put a couple people on the board of directors to make sure it's spent correctly. And, of course, every medical school was like, oh, of course, like no problem. And then they did away with all sorts of teaching on health and nutrition and everything focused onto pharmaceuticals because that's how they're going to get rich. So it's not, when you go to the doctor, they're not, through medical school, they're not even taught diet, nutrition, and stuff. Like, so when they say, oh, you're going to go on a diet, check with your doctor first. Why? Like, did you check with your doctor before you ate the 24 donuts? I mean, so the fact that I'm not going to eat 24 donuts tomorrow, I have to check with it. Like, it makes no sense.
Yeah, right. They're not treating them to solve the problem. They're treating them to solve the symptoms.
Yeah. And doctors are rewarded in this country. Other countries do it differently, but they're rewarded the sicker you get. The more money, they make more money if they prescribed you something versus if they didn't. They make more money if there's anything even slightly off. Oh, you need an MRI or you don't necessarily need it, but they get to bill your insurance company more. Mm-hmm. And then if they get to diagnose you with anything, then they get kickbacks from all these, pharmaceuticals. Yeah. And unfortunately, we're in a country that rewards doctors who keep you sick.
Yeah, and unfortunately, and I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Unfortunately, I think there's a lot of pressure on them to, like, they have protocols now.
Yeah.
So I just, I went to the doctor for my yearly female visit, whatever, and they said, oh, you have this, like, thing. We want to do a biopsy. And I was like, okay, well, let me do my own research. I research it, and if I was 2 years younger, that wouldn't be the protocol. But because I'm 2 years older, now that's the protocol, that a biopsy. So you're going to do something that I consider invasive. If you've ever had a biopsy, it's not pleasant. Like, because of my age, because you looked in a book and it said, okay, she's 48 years old, and so this is how we handle this versus if I was 45 or 46. Like, yeah. Really? Why don't you look at me and be like, well, she's fairly healthy. Like, it makes sense that this might show up. Let's do something less invasive. So I had to, like, literally fight with them to do something less evasive. Well, but they have a lot of pressure to, like, we have to. I've had a great doctor that said to me, like, I have to tell you that you should be on this kind of medication, but you don't need to be on that medication. Like, They have to tell you.
Yeah.
They have to write it down in their whatever log. I chose, the patient chose to not take the prescription.
Yeah. I had a thing with my mom. So after my dad died, she wasn't doing that well. So she started, like, she was convulsing at some point. She was very confused. And I brought her to the doctor. I was like, this isn't something I can handle, nor can I. She needed help. So turns out she was very dehydrated. And she ended up got a UTI because of the dehydration, and she needed to, obviously take a prescription for that. And then they did some testing and found out that they said she had high cholesterol, and it was like so crazy. And they put her on this prescription. And in my head, I was like, okay, we'll cycle it through maybe 6 months or so. This is in her healing. She was doing better or whatever. But then she got retested again, and your cholesterol now went up even more. And let's do another prescription on top of that. And then my mom started getting really, like, forgetful. Then she would get upset with herself that she's losing her mind or that she was forgetful. And then she was wobbly and she fell down and hit her head.
Yeah, right.
And then I'm like, let me see what you're taking. And it was like a statin drug. And I was like, no, absolutely not. So I did a little research. Basically, they shouldn't have even prescribed a statin to anyone at her age. Yeah, like,
and in the grieving process.
Yeah, like, there's other things going on. So I took her off the medicine. So she's just a people pleaser. She doesn't want to make anyone upset.
She's so cute.
She's adorable. She's like the cutest thing. But we go to the doctor and she's like, do I have to tell him that I stopped? I said, no, I'll take full responsibility for this. So, I told him, I had my mom stop it. Her symptoms were way worse than anything. It's not helping anyway. And then when I looked it up, her cholesterol wasn't even high. 10 years ago, that wouldn't even be considered anything worth even doing anything. It's all a moneymaker. So I was just like, absolutely not. We're controlling that. And what the doctor said to me is, well, you're going to have to be really careful because the health insurance isn't going to like that. They may drop you. Which is, I was like, what? So then I'm like, yeah, he's like, yeah, they're not going to like
flush
that.
It down the toilet.
But then I looked it up and it turned out, no, like it's illegal for them to say I'm having bad prescription, bad reactions, or I opted not to, but he might get reprimanded if she's not. So that's the system we live in. They're not giving you advice. And I'm not saying there's great doctors out there. I'm not saying it's everybody, but the way the system is designed is for them to push things that are, that keeps their licensing, they don't want to be out of a job for giving you advice of, hey, you know what, just,
That's why I say you got to give them the benefit of the doubt because I think they're under a lot of pressure and they're risking their careers by not following this new protocol.
This drug protocol. And it's basically paid for, but other things just really, really quickly because
I was going to say, like, spend a little bit of time every single week researching things like essential oils, natural healing. You have information at your fingertips. There's no reason not to. And just try to incorporate some things into your life little by little, and you'll start to gain more confidence in that you can heal yourself. Minor things, cuts, injuries, sickness, colds, illnesses, allergies. Like, I'm not saying like if your arm is like practically hanging off your body that you shouldn't go to the doctor, right? Like, we're not saying that there's not a need for them, but don't make that your first, like, I'm just going to rush off and go to the urgent care or go to the doctor. Like, get back to some natural healing. Heal your body from the inside out and then heal the outside with different things. I mean, there's, like, we talked about a few, like baking soda, and we talked about apple cider vinegar, and I like tea tree. I use essential oils all the time. And I have a book that I can literally look up, okay, acid reflux, what can I use for that? Like, can't sleep, what can I use for that? I rub lavender on my wrists and on the bottom of my feet and I go to sleep. Like, I don't need melatonin, which if you take melatonin, which has become like the new thing, then your body won't produce the melatonin on its own. And then you're hooked on melatonin.
Yeah.
So a lot of times you're doing your body a disservice by adding things that it doesn't need, like separate vitamins too. People are like, well, I take vitamin this and vitamin that. And I'm like, how do you know you need it?
Yeah.
And they're like, well, I don't. I'm like, do you know that there's like almost 10,000, like 100,000 actually vitamins in an orange or an apple? Why don't you take one of those?
Yeah. But the other thing I just want to like touch upon too, because there's foods obviously, but there's so many other factors. I know for me, I get really just inflamed and things with headaches when I'm overstressed, and I suffer from I have too much to do in a day, and I just sleep is always the thing that I'm as guilty as anyone could be, where I'll get 3 hours of sleep, a night for 2 weeks straight, and then that affects what I eat. It affects everything, inflammation, all that. So the key things are keeping yourself, make sure you get good quality sleep. That I know personally, that is such a huge impact on my health and everybody's health. I mean, and I don't mean by, if you could get to sleep before like midnight, like 10 p.m., it's better than going to bed at 2 a.m. and sleeping till noon. Like the way the circadian rhythms work, you'll get a deeper, more restorative sleep if it's before midnight.
They do say you can reset your sleep if you go camping and sleep in the woods.
That would make sense. Yeah.
For like a couple days or whatever.
Yeah.
Then you can reset your
But
sleep.
anything to reduce stress is a huge thing. That's another thing. And you could do that through like journaling. Even something I used to do, which I want to bring back, is I used to do a once a week pamper day. And it's not all day, it's like an hour. But you know what I mean? It's something where I just set aside me time. You know what I mean? And I think so many people are doing, and, you know, they're caregivers and they're doing this, or they're business owners, and they don't focus on me enough. And when you don't do that, it's a disservice to your business and to your family and to yourself.
Yeah. And stay hydrated.
Yeah. For sure.
Hydrated, sleeping, and like try to cut out the things that you know are bad.
Yeah.
Like
exactly.
that's first line defense. Then start researching essential oils and homeopathic medicine that you can use. And if anybody wants to know the DNA testing that I got done, reach out to me. You know, you can go on my website and you can contact me, and I will. I'll introduce you to the person that I use to get the DNA testing to reduce the inflammation in my body. So reach out to me. But we have to go.
Yeah.
Like our next topic, I think, I think it's great because I just changed the color of my hair. If you've been following us, you know it was blonde, and now it's back to its normal color-ish. And this here, not normal. That's kid related. But but now I have like a warmer tone. So I'm all Italian. My skin has a warm tone, and now my hair has a warm tone, which blonde was a cool tone. And so now I recognize the fact, because I have gone through research color, that now like this, like if it's gray versus black is better for me, or a navy blue looks better than a black, and so I want warmer tones, like more like autumn tones, and maybe some summer rather than a winter or a spring. So next week, because Antoinette is great with color anyway, we're going to talk about how to like pair color with your skin tone, with your hair color, so that way they're like you can actually look like you're not dead.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, no, but a lot of people like they want to do a glow up or something, and there's some really easy ways just to make yourself look better, feel better, and you all of a sudden pop, and people be like, "What? You know, what's going on?"
And it's not just for girls,
No.
because I know when my husband wears certain things, he pops.
Hey, pops, right?
No, I mean, he's got like pale green eyes, and you know, if he wears certain things that match, some things look better than others. And I'm like salivating.
Yeah. So, so find out how you could be more attractive through color next week. But until then, remember, never stop laughing
And never stop learning. We'll see you soon.